to Shiloh Network News with Dr. Scott Stripling.
Hi, I'm Scott Stripling.
And I'm Doug Petrovich.
With Shiloh Network News. Doug, we're standing here at an amazing spot called Givat Harel. What is it that we're looking at?
We're looking at an amazing altar that has 4 corners and obviously was long enough to hold an animal here. What do you think would have been here?
Well, even a bull, something of that size. This is enormous.
It is, and can you imagine dragging a bull all the way up here to slaughter it?
It just would be the manpower that it would have taken. And when we looked at the side, it's like 8 feet down.
Yeah, it's a flat drop. We can see that it's been worked on the top very carefully to make it flat, and the sides are mostly flat as well.
Now, this has been documented by Professor Yoel Elitzor, and he dates it to about the transition between the Iron Age and the Late Bronze Age, so maybe 3,200 years ago, thereabouts.
Yeah, and it's about a mile away or so from Shiloh. So that's a big question. What about the fact that we have the tabernacle here and this high place, this four-cornered horned altar?
You know, there's only 7 four-horned altars ever found in Israel, 2 of them here in the Shiloh region, and you raise, I think, the critical point. If we're worshiping Yahweh at Shiloh, then what's happening here?
Exactly, and that's something that's worth researching and worth talking about.
You know, the Bible talks about syncretism, and the prophets are condemning this. You're worshiping Yahweh and the other gods. Could this be one of those high places that the Bible talks about?
It very well could be, and the question, of course, is did the Israelites use this? Were they a part of the cult that was here? And it begs the question, you know, which God will you serve?
Well, right. So if you're half polytheistic and half monotheistic, do you go offer sacrifice at Shiloh, then come over here and sacrifice to Baal?
Cover all your bases, right?
That's polytheism.
Yeah, it's polytheism.
And so, you know, once again, we see a picture painted in the Bible, and the material culture supports it.
Absolutely. This works together perfectly with what we see throughout biblical history.
Well, this is fascinating, folks, and these are the type of places that we're exploring. I'm Scott Stripling.
And I'm Doug Petrovich.
With Shiloh Network News. I'm here at our pottery reading table. We've already classified this pottery earlier in the week, and now Liora, who is our ceramic typologist, is here with us, and she's one of the top experts here in Israel for early period pottery. And then Petrovic also works with us on the late period pottery. So this is Suzanne Latimer, our administrative director, Liora Freud, Abigail Levitt, our objects registrar, Gary Byers, our assistant director, and Leah Tremors, our in charge of our pottery reconstruction.
So we have here the square is AH 28 and locus 1. So that's why I separate it. And then if you look, this is locus 2. Goes on and on and on until here. We separate the rims from the body and the handles. And what my job now is to find if we can find a full rim from the different types. If we decide that there is restoration here and that there is potential restoration, then I may take it to the lab in Ariel. During pottery reading, usually we decide if there's restoration or not. For now, we're keeping everything because Doug needs to go through it.
My name is Doug Petrovich. I teach at the Bible Seminary where I'm professor of biblical history and exegesis. And we're here on site at Tel Shiloh. We're looking at the pottery where I examine each and every potsherd, both diagnostic potsherd, which would tell us what type of vessel it is and what period it's from, as well as just normal body sherds. Body sherds would be larger in most cases, and they're considered to be less significant because they don't give us these diagnostic features. So usually in archaeology, body sherds are just quickly discarded once they're looked at briefly. But what we're doing is, I think, the first of its kind, where we're taking each and every potsherd, even the non-diagnostic ones, and we're looking at them carefully to see if there's any epigraphical remains. If we don't carefully look for them, we may miss something that's really important that could be extremely useful in understanding the site better, or the ancient world better, or the biblical text better. So what we'll do is we'll take a potsherd and put it on our table here, which has a black material on it. Here we have an infrared machine that is going to send infrared light right onto the pottery, and what that's going to do is it's going to help create a look that's visible for us on the screen here to show us if there may be depressions or inscribed areas where there could be letters. So we're looking for things such as dark marks here where there are shadows, or movements such as this that could be recording a letter for us.
The TV set's essential because the light that's being here, like this thing is flooded obviously with light, but our eyes can't see any of it. So the screen obviously converts it into visible light. That's why you must use some type of a computer monitor. We're very meticulous with the pottery because it helps us date the stratification that we have. So Liora, why don't you kind of show us what Iron Age pottery would look like? What are the indicators?
There's some Iron Age bowl, and we see the rim which is outfolded, and we see the burnish inside, the typical wheel burnish of the Iron Age too. And we see the typical cooking pots of the period. Cooking pot material is very dark brown with a lot of grits inside, and the shape of the rim is Iron too.
Okay, so our protocols are very specific. Suzanne is writing the information on the tags, and then Abigail's making sure that the right pottery goes back in the right bag. Then it goes down to Gail at the end, I should have said, is our pottery registrar, and she's pretending to be busy down there, so she's off camera. But then it's up to Gail to get it into the database correctly, and so without clean data, then we can't arrive at the right decision. So this is how the pottery flow works. We examine about 2,000 pieces every day. We have 20 days. I think that's 40,000 pieces of pottery in a season that we will wash and examine, and then of that we'll save 5% or something like that for further study. So this is the Pottery Reading team from ancient Shiloh signing off for Shiloh Network News.
Try over here.
Right in the middle. Okay, another one for the books.
Here they are. So this is our numismatist. Yoav, how do you stick your head out and smile, Yoav?
Hello.
Okay, so we clean the coins with Orna, and then we take the coins to Yoav, who does the reading, and now we're going to take them to Mike, who's going to photograph them, and that's how the process works. Thank you, my friend.
Take care.
All right, I'll see you soon. Okay.
So how's the dig going today?
It's the worst day of my life. What do you think?
Say hello to my little friend.
You want the trowel? You can't handle the trowel.
Give me all your dirt,
Why?
because I got a trowel.
You call that a trowel? Now that's a trowel.